Welcome to this month's installation of Hector's highlights. Let's get right into it, starting with literature. At the beginning of this month, I managed to finish the book Ready Player One, which is a science fiction book adapted in a movie by Steven Spielberg. I liked the book more than the movie, although I get that the movie has its own appeal and just used the book as a basis. The book is more geeky, more focused on 80s and 90s geek culture, for example Dungeons and Dragons or older card games, but it's very nice, although my only problem with it is the pacing, because they take a lot of time in the beginning to set the world, which I get, and then the main character has a super great idea to stop the villain, and then it just very fast, and it made it kind of, I thought it was kind of sad, because in the beginning we kind of get a glimpse on what the world is like and how kind of the circumstances are dystopian, but then when we are really confronted, or the main characters are in real life confronted with this world, it's kind of very fast paced, and they're just super 1000 IQ and just solve everything right away. I would have liked to sit on that a little bit more. Apart from that, it's a nice read. I would recommend, but don't get this version. It's ugly. I believe it's ugly. After finishing that, I thought, okay, I read some fantasy, maybe we have to get real again. So I started reading The Fourth Turning Is Here by Howe. Howe is a historian, economist, and demographer. You may know him from coining the term millennial generation with his colleague William Strauss. This book is kind of a sequel or a follow-up to the book The Fourth Turning, published in 1997. In both books, they talk about this cyclical pattern that comes up every 80 to 100 years, and that spans over everything regarding society, whether it be economy trends or politics. In 1997, they kind of predicted the direction in which we were going. The overall mood that we have right now, they predicted, and many people wanted to follow our book because to them it seemed like magic. It seemed like they predicted the future, and they kind of found the code, cracked the code when it comes to foreseeing what is going to happen in society. So this is a follow-up book, kind of dealing with the situation or presenting a view with the situation we're in right now. Of course, there's a kind of a focus on America, because they are Americans. Meanwhile, I'm hard at work reading all the magazines I started. I'm about halfway through when it comes to my pop art magazine. I haven't started this one yet at all, about 100 masterpieces in art. And I haven't started my philosophy magazine. Let's go over to movies and series. I finally finished Hunter x Hunter, the 2011 anime adaptation of the 90s manga. The anime has 148 episodes, and I finished them, I watched them, and I'm so done with it. I'm not gonna watch the 90s anime adaptation, I'm not gonna watch the movies or read the manga. Maybe at some point I'll read the manga. First of all, what I didn't like about the anime, the pacing is kind of weird. The arcs get very different attention to detail, and a lot of characters get introduced that we don't see for a long time. The best characters, in my opinion, don't get enough screen time. You have to wait many episodes for interesting battles, and me personally, I didn't like the main character with Gon. Then you have some stylistic methods, or some things that they introduce to make it more interesting, that you have in one arc, or for one half of an arc, and then it's just gone. So for in a Chimera End arc, for example, you have a narrator that tells you what is going on, or what the characters feel or think, what I didn't like at all, because that's the thing with media or with series and movies. Show me, and then I'll understand, or make it obvious, and then I'll understand. But having somebody tell me what is happening in front of my eyes was kind of overkill. What I liked about the anime was kind of this childish nature. So the characters have motivations that are pretty simple, I want to be the strongest and I don't care about like the well-being of other people or whatever, or like politics or like the grand scheme of things, or like I want to be the best, I want to meet my dad again, I want to nurture a certain friendship, and I like that very much. I like the art style. It was all over the place. At first I didn't like it, but as soon as I embraced it and kind of understood that it's this adventurous world, kind of like a very big theme park, I liked it. But kind of the relationships between the characters for me were like, they came up short with that, and some characters had like super OP powers and were like super strong, and other characters were just kind of a guy that can hit hard, which was kind of weird and all over the place. I wouldn't recommend it. Not a big fan. After I finished Hunter x Hunter, I went back to something that I started when I was a teen, and now I wanted to finish finally. Attack on Titan. I read the manga up to a point where they make a very big discovery, and it got super confusing, and then like other things came up in my life and I didn't keep up with the manga, and I never watched the anime, so I kind of forgot about it. But now it came up again, and like a year ago or a couple years ago, the finale came out, and I know that the internet lost their shit, and it's like a crazy ending. I don't know what happened, but I'm super hyped for it. And right now I'm in season 2, episode 3, right about where the animal titans come up. And I'm a big fan of seinen in general, so like more adult or like more gory anime and manga. I like Berserk, for example. So with Attack on Titan, like the kind of German European twist in it as well, like very militant, it's kind of interesting to me, and it's like a hard cut coming from Hunter x Hunter. But I like it so far. I like the mysterious undertones you have, because I'm in season 2 now and nobody has a clue what's going on. Neither the characters nor I, and it has like this very nice kind of suspense that gets interchanged with action and like this militaristic tactics part of it. Yeah, I'm hype, and I'm kind of glued to it. I kind of addicted right now to watching it. And now let's get into my recommendations this month when it comes to music. I have 3 songs and 1 album that I'm gonna recommend to you this month. As always, everything is linked down below. Starting off with I Need You by Tudan, who's a friend of me and who released this ballad a couple of weeks ago. It's a nice ballad. It's very simplistic, but I feel like he's finding his artistic voice, and I'm hype and I'm glad that he's releasing, showing the world his talent. With the sun coming out and me wanting to move more again, and like I'm always in the mood to dance, I came back to Popular by The Weeknd, Madonna and Playboi Carti. It came out in tandem with the series The Idol that The Weeknd kind of co-produced and starred in, which was a big flop. But the song's nice. I constantly bump it and dance in my kitchen. The third song is Fall Back by Lithe. I kind of got grabbed by the social media presence of it, with like reels being full of that song and like cool edits to it. And deep in my heart, I'm like a little rap trap guy, even though I like soul and disco and all that. Recommend that as well. When it comes to albums, I recommend a classic to you this month with Off the Wall by Michael Jackson. I got back to my disco roots. Produced by Quincy Jones, this album makes you dance and takes you back to the 80s. It's not too long, and you can listen to it from front to back. Dance constantly, bob your head. Yeah, it's just kind of a sign of the greatness that was about to come. Again, thank you for your attention, thank you for tuning in, and see you in the next one.